Yeah, that one person. Can she see you?
I don't know.
Yeah, you want.
Can't hear anything though.
Hello, Sharon.
Hi, Marcia.
How are you?
Good. How are you?
Are you on a cruise?
No, but it's this is a picture of a sunset from a balcony cruise ship.
Uh-huh.
So I have it as my background because that's really where I want to be.
Yeah, I need to find some backgrounds other than my boring old
I know.
cork board back here.
Watch this though. Watch. Come here, Tom. Watch when he comes into the picture. Now watch when he leaves. Now go. He fades out into the sunset.
You guys aren't old enough for that yet.
No, true.
So are you at
Everybody
home?
well? Huh?
Are you at home?
Yeah. I just don't. I'm not comfortable yet being around that many people. That
No, me either.
everybody healthy?
So far, I have one nephew who's had it, but he's over it now. He wouldn't admit if he had any ongoing symptoms or problems
Oh.
because he was kind of an anti-masker.
Oh.
And then he got sick. So yeah, can't admit that he did wrong. So he's not going to say how bad it was. Everybody healthy there?
Yeah, my mother got COVID in the nursing home, but she was asymptomatic.
Wow. She didn't even get sick. That's great.
Nope. She's 85. They moved her for a couple of weeks to the other end of the state to a COVID facility they had, but she didn't get sick. So, and she still doesn't understand why she moved and why they brought her. You know, she knows she moved. I tell her she had COVID. She knows she came back. And then the next week I talk to her, she'll say, "How come they moved me?" She's like that other room. Yeah, she's doing okay. She recovered from it just fine.
My stepdaughter's mother, who's always in and out of the hospital, has asthma, has all kinds of other things, but she does have asthma. And this is in Michigan. She's been in the hospital like with extended stays and a couple of rehabs after that. Never has not gotten it. So
that's good.
Yeah. You got to scratch your head though and wonder why some do and some don't, and why some get it so bad that
I know, and it's funny.
And others are asymptomatic.
In our house, I have the asthma. So, and I'm going to be the last one to get my shot, I think. My middle child, Mohegan Sun's already gave him one shot. He's going to get a second shot. My youngest is getting a shot next week from Eastern. And the oldest works at EB, and EB is on the way to getting their shots. And my husband is 70, so he can get, over 65 is coming in pretty soon. So I said, yeah, everybody's going to get their shot but me.
The one who needs it most.
But I said, that's okay, because the more people around me that have the shots, the less people to get me sick.
Right.
Yeah. And then
I'm really okay not being around a lot of people.
Yeah, we
in the best of times.
Yeah, my son is the one son that works at Mohegan Sun. He comes over here, he uses our treadmill, and he eats here. But he's been tested. He couldn't come over for a week because somebody near him at work got sick, and he had to wait for 3 negative tests to show he wasn't sick. I said, you have to wear a mask around us if you come over our house because you're not getting us sick. But he didn't get sick, and he's now coming.
That's good.
He passed all his tests. It's a joke in our house. He passed his tests. Hey, my snooze came on. Tell me time to put my meeting on.
Oh, so aren't we on the meeting?
I don't know. This is the Zoom they told us to go on to get on the meeting.
Yeah.
And you and I are only 2 on. And I told Don I was going to do it Zoom, that I wasn't going to get on the meeting. So either they haven't turned us on or they're going to do the meeting without us. Because it said that they were.
Fred is just now going over.
Oh,
Mary Beth is probably over there trying to get it up.
okay.
Says you probably can't do it.
I had trouble with the agenda. I couldn't open up my motions.
Oh,
You know
yeah,
what I
I
want?
just got the agenda up. I don't have
Oh,
anything.
somebody else. Here comes Mary Beth.
What about Mary Beth?
Mary Beth just came on.
Oh, good. Hi, MB.
Put locked in on so you can talk to her.
Oh, I bet we're going to be up on the big screen.
I don't know.
You're the only one with the background.
You're muted, MB. How do I get rid of that now? Ah, Dan.
Hello,
Hello.
Dan.
We can hear you.
how you doing?
Good. How about yourself?
Good.
Sharon, where'd you go to get the background?
Tom took it out of a file picture we had.
I set it up before the meeting and then I joined the meeting from our Zoom.
Oh, okay.
I just assume you're on a cruise ship right now.
That's what it is. It's a sunset from the balcony of a cruise ship where I really want to be right now. But there's no cruises.
No.
Everybody have nice holidays?
Pretty good.
No, it's depressing. Couldn't have the family, you know.
Yeah,
They all came over. I saw them all. They came over with their mask for the 5 minutes. I told them I wasn't giving them Christmas gifts. They were getting checks, and everybody wanted to come get their money.
yeah, we did the same. We met our daughter in Putnam on Christmas Eve to hand over the gifts.
Yeah.
And that's about halfway for both of us. And then we Zoomed the next day opening them.
Well, my
We actually
youngest-
found a restaurant in Putnam that still had outdoor seating.
Dining?
And
Really?
it had the heaters and everything.
Oh.
So we had lunch together and
Well,
you
that's
know.
nice.
yelled across the table because she was sitting way back.
Meeting over yet?
No, the meeting hasn't started. We lost the Mary Beth.
Oh, yeah.
I made I usually would make stuffed shrimp in a primary a tenderloin for dinner, but I didn't make the tenderloin. I just made the stuffed shrimp. But I gave my youngest came over with his fiance, and I gave them a plate of the shrimp to make and a plate of a container of our gratin potatoes. The other thing so I made them dinner.
Oh, once you get the first
Nice.
one, I'll send you a link to schedule the second one.
Oh, I see someone's coming. I hear the voices.
Okay.
That looks like
Yes,
the ceiling.
Ceiling of the annex.
Yep.
Sorry about that, Marshall.
Okay, Sharon and Dan, you ready?
Yes,
We're ready
sir.
to see the ceiling. It's quite nice.
Okay, well, we'll get started. I'll call this January 19th retirement board meeting to order. We have so first order of business is approval of the minutes of November 17th, 2020. Do I hear a motion? So moved. Okay, second. Okay, all right. Were there any changes, comments?
I got one comment.
Yeah.
It's more of a comment. Says motion to approve the legal invoice of 14 July.
Yeah.
It was motion removed from the agenda, not a comment board invoice approved. I just kind of wonder what that was. Legal is actuarial services, so that's something you.
Yeah, Don,
So it's E, the agenda. Yeah, that makes sense since it was 14 July. Yeah, okay. Maybe we could just put that in there.
yeah, I'm looking to see. It wasn't on, it's not on this art agenda today, so.
No, you said we already approved it.
Yeah, it was from July. I think it had been previously approved.
That makes
It
sense.
should not have been on the agenda, if I remember right. Okay, so it was approved, yeah. Yeah, if you could just, Mary Beth, if you could just say move from agenda since previously approved. Okay, change those words. Okay, all right. With that amendment, is there anything else? Not all in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Okay,
Abstained.
abstained, okay. Okay, all right, next Director of Human Resources update, Don. Nothing. Finance Director,
She said she was having a hard time hearing us.
I think she might be on the phone. Marcia?
Yes.
oh, Marcia, it's up to you, you're up.
I have nothing other than the agenda item that we'll talk about
Okay,
for the contribution.
any questions for Don or Marcia? No?
I think we might, did we get those 401k taken care of with the school board, the ones that weren't getting their contribution from the town? Did that all get cleared up?
Yeah, the issue where they were sending money up there and the account hadn't been set up, I believe that's all been squared away there.
Okay, Okay.
Just a follow-up question. There was some question about, since we had suspended because of the lack of funding, that the Board of Education would have had to authorize the back funding of those contributions.
If it ended up with one employee that you were having conflict wasn't even eligible, yet he had 6 months.
All right, so as long as I'll take care of it.
Yeah.
Okay, we don't have any old business, so first order of new business. I'll make a motion to approve the DiMeo Schneider invoice 609-2004 dated December 31st in the amount of $11,416.75 for fourth quarter consult. I hear a second.
Second.
Okay, are there any comments on that or questions? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. All right, next, I'll make a motion to recommend to the mayor that the fiscal year 22 town contribution to the employee pension plan be set at $1,131,233.
Second.
Okay, Marcia?
This
Oh.
is the calculation that is done every other year in the year between the valuations. The 2019 valuation was the last one that was done. The next one will be done this fall. So the valuation says that they recommend an off-year contribution increase of 3%. 3% next year of our current fiscal 21 contribution would be $32,949 for a total contribution of $1,131,233. You can see on the spreadsheet that's attached, it shows what 5% and 10% increases would be. I think we're safe with a 3% increase, given the activity of the last few years. So that's what we're recommending.
You're saying the investment gains that we've received.
Pardon me?
The investment gains that we've seen in our investment.
The gains and the decrease of employees in the plan. Yes, the trajectory of both of those factors.
We've actually seen the number of employees covered by this plan decrease.
With the combination of retirees who have died and
Right.
so forth. Yes, the plan continues to shrink in members.
Does this make a change? I don't know if you know offhand what our, I don't know if the word is vesting, you're supposed to be at a certain percent, what, 80%, 90%? Any idea where this would put us, or?
We're still at about 83% funded. Is that what you're asking, John? The unfunded liability?
Right.
Yeah, we're at about 83%.
Okay, anyone have any questions on that?
Which is a really good number,
Okay.
right? 83.
83% is a great number. I think a lot of times, somewhere in the 80s, these plans are considered fully funded. They barely get to 100%, especially on the municipal side. The corporate side, sometimes they get over 100%, but I mean, this plan is in very good shape. And I would concur with Marcia, the 3% increase is certainly adequate, given the environment we're in.
We're in the top 10 municipalities in the state
Yeah.
in terms of
Well,
funding level.
Yes.
I thought that was consistent with what, Marcia, with what you did 2 years ago too. I think this is pretty consistent, right?
Yes, we did 3% 2 years
Yeah,
ago.
that's what I remember.
well, being, you know, sometimes squeezing where I should squeeze, I don't know, I always question the amount, the increase that we do. I think we're funded very well, and again, I would certainly have no problem if the mayor saw a need to change that. I don't know. Certainly there's a recommendation to the mayor. The mayor certainly has the final authority on the budget. So, but I agree. I think that we've done very, very well, both in our contributions and in our management of the fund.
And it is an off year, so, you know, if we were gonna make a change that other than recommended, I would think we'd wait for the full, you know, this year's evaluation, right? Where we're actually getting a number that that's why we went down. I think in 2020, you know, we actually had a negative 16%, almost 17%. Because they did all that actuarial stuff, all that
Well,
magic.
we lengthened the time for the valuation so that we lowered the contribution. So
Didn't have to do a new rule, actuarial rules or something?
it could have, but we also lengthened the kind of termination of the plan by a number of years. I think originally it was, and maybe Marcia knows this, but I thought originally the plan was priced to 2025 being fully funded, and we lengthened that, and it seemed reasonable to do so.
Yeah.
Which, of course, if you have a longer period of time, then you can contribute less to the funding. And I'm pretty certain, Don, do you know offhand?
I'm looking it up. I've got it here.
I think we had Siegel's buy-in to that.
I think we, at one point, I remember, the board recommended like a 12-year stretch on it, and I think the council came back and said, no, we're going to stick with the 10.
Oh, okay.
That was 3 years ago.
Yeah, I was gonna say, we're probably at 8 years out from the. And Bill, yes, you were right, that part of that, part of the work that Siegel did was actuarial work, which did include a change to longevity, life
expectancy,
stuff like that, and so that's what was partially adjusted.
Because the actuarial, you know, the national group makes those recommendations.
Right.
And because we're all living longer.
Until 2020. Yeah, maybe
Yeah,
they're gonna change the tables again.
Yeah,
Yeah, you never know.
and they'll be going the other way next year.
Any other discussion?
I do have a couple of confirmations. We are 83.71% funded on the unfunded portion. And we have 8 years remaining in the amortization period for that unfunded liability. Well, actually, we have 6 years left now, because this was as of the 2019 valuation. So in 6 years, we'll be fully funded, guys. Yoo-hoo!
No comment.
If the market changes.
Assuming a 6.25% annualized rate of return.
Yes.
You just get through the past year. That remember the beginning of the year, 30% unemployment, and the stock market is going to remember like that. And I don't know, you know, it turned out to be one of the best years. And but yes, you're right. You're right.
You never know, because
You never know.
nothing seems to follow any kind of logic.
No, you're right.
anymore.
You're right. Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Did I just add something, John?
You sure can. If you
Uh,
could change my vote, my wavering yes vote, go ahead.
no,
Go ahead.
no, this is having to do with the questions at, I believe, the last meeting about our about Siegel and their charges.
Yeah.
Don and I are in the process of, we did get some information from them about their charges. And Don and I are working with Siegel on that to get more information, I think. And I don't know, this was before Christmas, so I'm a little unclear as to where we left things. But we did talk with Chris Rollins about going out to bid, which Don and I think would be a good idea. And we're just waiting for one last piece of information. And then Chris told us he gave us the name of a couple of actuarial firms that also do municipal contracts. And Don, do you want to add anything to that?
Not at this point, no.
Okay, so you'll have a report back to us.
In February, yes.
Okay. What's the total amount we were charged by Siegel, like last year?
I don't have that number.
I mean, thousands, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands?
I would say because so in a valuation year, that's about, I think they charge us about 13,000 for the valuation. And I know one year we did the valuation with Milliman, and they charged us 10,000 at that point when Siegel was charging 13 to other towns. Milliman and Hooker Holcomb are the two actuarial firms that Chris mentioned, and Siegel. Those are the three big ones in the state. Siegel charges, I would say, in a non-valuation year, it's probably just under 10,000 if you add in all the calculation, the retirement calculations and the record keeping fees. I think it's right at about 10,000. Would you agree, Don?
I think so, too. We do $1,500 a quarter for the record keeping, then the annual run for all of the employees who get their annual statement. $400 every time we get a calculation.
Yeah, Dan, I think that was your point, is all of these incidental charges we get every time there's, the question of, isn't most of that information available with the push of a button?
Right. And I think over the last year or so, we saw some modest increases in the cost of the individual retirement calculations. And I guess part of my question too was, did they give us any heads up? Or it just seems like we kind of, at least I had the sense we kind of just get caught by surprise where, a cost of a calculation goes up. We didn't even know it was coming. So, yeah, I just think it probably doesn't hurt for them to at least realize that we're all watching their charges pretty close, and that if there's another source out there that could provide us the same level of service at reduced cost, it's our responsibility to at least assess that.
Nothing like a competitive bid for people to scrub their costs.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, just so when we get the bid, it's apples and apples, one would be, and I don't think that anybody would give us a fixed fee for the whole year, but, what the individual charges are. Ultimately, if the town could afford or could get somebody to put everything out online to where the employee could basically, but that has to be updated also. And there's a cost to that. Okay.
I know that part of the issue in the past when we've tried to get the push of the button system, because we're such a small plan, that was going to cost a lot of money.
Yeah.
It wouldn't have been worth it. So we will, when we do a new RFP, we will maybe as an added, or not requirement, but what would you charge to do this type thing, and have it all set up online so members could have access to it. I do know that part of the cost is liability. So when they do the calculations, they take the liability for the benefit amount that the employee gets. And if ever there was a lawsuit or a concern brought by an employee or a retiree, the town is absolved of that liability unless it's.
Well,
shown
we would
that
only be absolved, Marcia, I would think, to a certain extent, right? I mean, I guess, and maybe I don't understand this correctly, but I would kind of put them analogous to like if you pay someone do your taxes. I mean, if they make a mistake in the calculation, they bear the liability, but I
Right.
thought they also have that caveat on all their calculations that, hey, this is only as good as the information that the town of Ledyard provided me. So if we somehow inadvertently provided an incorrect salary history, I would think the responsibility would still lie with the town if there was a
Yes.
liability issue. Oh, okay.
Correct.
All right.
I'm talking about like if the calculation was done
Gotcha.
incorrectly.
Gotcha.
Also, they have all our records from the beginning and of every employee's time here. So if they were to make drop a zero or whatever in one of those years when they're doing the calculation, because when we put in for a retirement calculation, we only give them, Don will correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe we only give them the most recent years, because assuming they have the previous years. So if something were to happen to their numbers that we've given them in previous years, and you know, the benefit was calculated incorrectly as a result, then that would be their liability.
Gotcha.
Marcia or Don, when an employee leaves, you know, we get that, we see that letter when we approve the payments. We see it where it lists all the years and the, do we ask the employee to sign off on that? Not that the employee remember or know, but,
There is not a sign off on that. The employees are notified every year when they get their statement.
okay,
So it would be some responsibility on their part if there was an issue to come back at that point. But we don't sign off every year.
okay. And it doesn't necessarily save a lot of money, but the interesting thing here is that the number of people that we're, you know, once they calculate the payment, that's it for them essentially, right?
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
And the number of people that they're calculating for goes down every year as people retire. You know, we have, what, less than 50% now, Mayor, in the plan? So, but again, it's, you know, once you build the program, it doesn't really, and you have the records in there. And they also have to keep track of all the different contracts in the town. They have to update every time we sign a new contract. They got to put the new numbers in there if the pension changes.
Salary, right, salary increases.
Yes. Well, do we ever change the percentage? Do they ever negotiate a change in there? No? Okay.
Yeah,
So
they can't negotiate anything with the pension plan anymore.
okay. Okay. Any other questions or comments? We've already approved that item. So any other new business to come before us? Did I miss anything? No? Okay,
Motion to adjourn.
second. Okay, we are adjourned. Sharon, you didn't hear me before, but I said make sure you notify us when it's safe to cruise again, right?
Yes, I'll do that.
We'll probably know because you'll say you're not going to be attending the meeting. And now we continue this Zoom era we're in, or error, whatever you want to call it. You could do it from the ship.
Yeah,
No,
I could.
answer.
Yeah.
No response.
But the internet, the internet most of the time isn't that good. So
Yeah.
If we're gonna continue this, I'd like to see faces rather than that box of candy.
I know, because it made me hungry.
Ah,
I bet you have a craving for a crackle bar right now,
Yeah.
Marcia.
Kit Kat.
Kit Kat, I'm sorry. Oh, Kit Kat, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, well, thank you all very much.
Thank you. Have a great
Bye.
day.
Yeah, you too.
Bye.
Want you to do it for me.